What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk Buffalo. The 2021 NFL season for the Buffalo Bills has finally begun, and they continue their momentum that they built upon last season as they get a win here in their first preseason game, 16-15 over the Detroit Lions. Now, it wasn't the most pleasing game to watch, and it wasn't the prettiest on the eyes to watch. However, there were just 2 total touchdowns in the entire game, one from each team. There were, however, quite a few takeaways from this game that I drew while watching it. The first takeaway that I came across was that Devin Singletary looked like a man possessed. In the few carries that he had, he looked very strong. He looked very hungry. He looked very, very good in his first live game action in 2021. He had 8 carries for 42 yards. That was over 5 yards per carry. He also had 1 reception for 6 yards and a touchdown. Again, very good sign for the Buffalo Bills that Devin Singletary, their 3rd-round pick just 2 years ago, is looking very strong early on for the Buffalo Bills as their run game had struggled a lot of last season. It looks like early in this first preseason game, they wanted to get these running backs going. Of course, no Zach Moss in this game as he hurt his hamstring earlier in the week in practice. However, again, Devin Singletary looked very, very good for the Buffalo Bills in this game. On the flip side of that, both Breida and Antonio Williams were very, very underwhelming. With Breida in, we thought maybe we had a very solid change of pace back, as he is lightning fast. He ran a 4.3 40-yard dash not all that long ago. So we thought maybe we had somebody that could be the change of pace back for the Buffalo Bills. However, in his first preseason game with Buffalo, he was incredibly underwhelming. He had just 10 carries for 27 yards, 2.7 yards a carry. He had a couple of decent runs in there. However, just not a whole lot for him as he played in this game. And the other one who a lot of people were really, really excited about was Williams, who looked very strong in his game last year, the only game he played last year, and he had a very strong training camp from what I understand. A lot of people have been tweeting about it. He looked very, very strong. He did not have a very impressive game either, as he had 7 carries for 15 yards or just 2.1 yards per carry. That is something that should alarm the Buffalo Bills. I know, again, they didn't have Zach Moss, but going forward, that should kind of alarm the Buffalo Bills, as the NFL is more of a run-by-committee type league now. You don't really have a bell cow, but the run game must get going for the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, to see continued success this season. Also in this game, I noticed, as well as everyone else, is Greg Russo, the 1st-round pick, number 30 overall by the Buffalo Bills. And I got to tell you, he looked every bit like a first-round pick should, a dominant first-round pick should for the Buffalo Bills. He is making them look very, very smart for drafting him late in the 1st round, even though he hadn't played a live game since 2019, as he opted out in 2020 season in college because of what was going on with COVID. This was his first live game action since 2019, and all he did was had 11 plays, 11 pass rushing attempts. He had 3 hurries and 1 sack. So very, very solid numbers for Greg Russo right out the gate, as he in his only sack, he did exactly what he did in college. He used his length to hold off the right tackle Penny Sewell, and he used his power to drive through him and get to the quarterback on that play. fantastic play by him. He is only going to continue to get better for this Buffalo Bills team. So very encouraging things to see from Greg Russo in his first preseason game with the Buffalo Bills. Somebody else that also stood out to me in this game was defensive tackle Harrison Phillips. Now, yes, he's not a big name that a lot of people will recognize if you're not more of a hardcore Buffalo Bills fan. He missed a lot of last season with a knee injury. There were pictures online. He looked like he beefed up a little bit in the offseason. In this game, I thought in the times that I was paying a lot more attention to him, that he had himself a solid game. On the Greg Russo sack, he had a tremendous play where he blew up his lineman across from him, did a fantastic move, collapsed the pocket, and he was also in on the sack. He did not get any credit for the sack, of course, but he did help collapse the pocket, which left the quarterback nowhere to go and gave Greg Russo the sack. Another great play that he had in this was on a 4th and 1. He completely stuffed the middle of the line, giving the running back absolutely nowhere to go, and the Buffalo Bills end up stopping the Detroit Lions on a 4th and 1, and it's a turnover on downs. Another great play by Harrison Phillips, and it's looking like the Buffalo Bills interior of the line, when things start to get going, will be vastly improved over last season, and that is very encouraging for all of Bills Mafia to watch the Buffalo Bills have what looks like a lot of depth across their defensive line. Now, another thing that jumped out to me in this game was that it seems like the Buffalo Bills went from not being able to find a quarterback for 20 plus years to having multiple quarterbacks on this team that are pretty darn good, or at least looks pretty darn good. We all know what Josh Allen can do. Of course, he did not play in this game. Mitchell Trubisky, yes, I know he only threw 2 passes. He was 1 of 2. The pass that he did complete was a pretty nice pass to Dawson Knox over the middle as he fitted in a very tight window. But again, he was a starter in the league for a very long time, so we also know what he can do. But in this game, the 2 quarterbacks that impressed me were, of course, 3rd-string quarterback Davis Webb and 4th-string quarterback Jake Fromm. Both quarterbacks, as I said, had a very solid game. Webb went 11 of 16 for 90 yards and a touchdown. He also added in 2 carries for 26 yards. And Fromm went 8 of 13 for 65 yards, including a game-winning drive late into the 4th quarter. Now, they're going to have, in my opinion, a very difficult time trying to figure out who is going to be their 3rd-string quarterback. It is going to be a dog fight of a battle, if you ask me, and not just because I'm a Jake Fromm fan, because both quarterbacks bring something to the table in that, Webb is a former 3rd-round pick in 2017 by the New York Giants. He may have the upper hand, at least at this point, in my opinion, because, he is big, he's strong. He looked poised in the pocket. He made some good throws. Also, he has the ability to run the ball. He does have that same ability that Josh Allen and Mitchell Trubisky both share, and that is his mobility. So that, in my opinion, right now, gives him the upper hand if the Bills are going to cut one of these quarterbacks. However, Jake Fromm showed what he has showed his entire career with football, and that he is a winner. He makes plays when they need to be made. He's not a whole bunch of flash. He's not a whole lot of pizzazz, but when things need to get done, he usually makes the play to end up doing them. He has played in a ton of big games over his career, and the big game does not bother him at all. The big moment does not make him freeze at all, as he had a game-winning drive in his first action for the live game action for the Buffalo Bills, his first live NFL action for the Buffalo Bills. As he was drafted, he sat out all of last year. He was separated from the team all of last year because he was their emergency COVID quarterback. So it was really good to get to see him out there, get to see him perform. And again, he had a pretty solid game. He did what Jake Fromm does, and that is not any, like I said, he's not making these incredible throws or incredible plays. He's not jumping over linebackers. That's for dang sure. I don't know why I say dang. That's for damn sure. However, he just makes throws when they need to be made. He made a 4th and 10 throw down the left sideline that was an absolute dime on the money to Marquez Stevenson, the rookie Marquez Stevenson down the left sideline. Again, it was 4th and 10 with about a minute to go in the game. The Bills were down by a couple, and he was able to make that throw again down the sideline, drop it right in on Stevenson. It was just a very pretty pass, and then he was able to lead them a little bit further down the field, get them into field goal range, and make and help the Buffalo Bills win that game. So he did what he always does, and that is win. How he wins, for him, it doesn't really matter. As long as he wins, he's good with it. And he has won at every single level that he has ever competed against, and he has shown why he's been able to do that for the Buffalo Bills in his first preseason game. Again, he leads them down the field with under a minute and a half to go, and they end up winning the game on a field goal. A fantastic drive by Jake Fromm. It was Again, it wasn't the most exciting game to watch. However, there were a lot of positives that you were able to take away from their first preseason game. I want everybody to tell me what they think about the Bills' first preseason game down in the comment section. Let me know what you all think. I try to answer every single comment that I get. Remember to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a video. We talk Bills, we talk Sabres, and we talk UB Bulls, men's basketball and football. We cover all of that right here on Sports Talk Buffalo. Thank you guys for watching. Have a fantastic week.